Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for SM, of course, joined by good friend, co-host, Chicago Bears content creator, Ficky, and we have our producer, Jack, on the sticks as well. You can follow all of us here on the screen. Our socials also in the YouTube description, and it's been a little bit, we were just talking about this kind of off screen. It's been a little bit of like a mini bye. Bears football it's been I think one of our, the Spotify recaps that we get, right? Mm-hmm. One of our listeners said, although this year has not been what we expected, it's still been, fun to kind of listen. And he had the 5 Bears podcasts on his list. We were number 2, which is awesome. So if you have those Spotify wraps, of course, go ahead and tag the BFR Twitter account. We'll go ahead and reshare them, both on my personal, of course, the BFR Twitter as well. But anyways, this season has not gone how we thought it would, right? We thought we'd at least be fighting for a playoff, playing meaningful football games in late November, early December. Of course, we're having the same conversation. Draft picks. I've seen a lot of draft talk this week. But again, this has been a mini bye, kind of nice, kind of relaxed a little bit. So, Ficky, before we hop into this 49ers preview, which is actually really interesting, how are you feeling? How have you been able to kind of, I guess, maybe relax a little bit, reset heading into these final 5 games with, I don't think we talked about Matt Eberflus being fired. Yeah. Oh, we did. No, we did that live on air.
We did. Yeah, we did. It did happen.
It's been live. That long.
It has. It does feel like forever. It's good to get a little bit of a break, but as you know, with Bears, there's always something going on. So you have this week's talks about, I saw that Albert Breer came out and basically said, it was Tom Pelissero with Rich Eisen basically was saying Harbaugh was never coming to Chicago. So that kind of put that to rest, which I think is good because I know we've had that talk like, why didn't they interview him? Why didn't they interview him? So that was kind of like good to hear that, like, okay, the brass maybe knew that this wasn't an option for them. But now you have reports coming out because we're in the head coaching hunt, right? Like, well, is Kevin Warren got too much power or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of speculation. It seems like even when this team doesn't play, there's all this type of just rumors and trying to get the ins and outs of what's going on within the front office here. But maybe I'm alone on this, but for the first time, I actually feel confident that they're going to have the right process, I should say, with getting a competent coach. Will it be the best one of the options? I have no idea, and we won't know that because a lot of times we don't even know all the options they had, right? But like Warren said, he came out and was like, this is the most attractive job. And it really is. Like, you've got your quarterback locked in there. You've got a team that they've had 4 games against 8 or 9 win teams or more where it's been 3 minutes left. It's been can't talk. It's been so long. The score is only 3 points difference within 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So in essence, they've had 4 games against quality opponents where they had a chance to either tie it or win. And literally they lost all of them. And that's why Flus is gone. But the point of that is for these head coaches out there, they see that the talent is there. That's why Jalen Johnson started barking at Flus because he knows, the players know there's talent there. So I say all of that, a long-winded answer to your question is like, have I been relaxing? Not really, but I'm almost more excited about this offseason, which is sad because the season's not over. But I am excited because I think they've set up the right foundation to actually go out there and get a competent head coach in this building, which we have not had since Jack, how old were you in 2003?
I would have not even been 1 yet.
Wait, what about Lovey?
That's what I'm saying. I'm going all the way back to when
2003.
I think that's when he was hired, wasn't he?
Oh, but he's been here.
Not when he was hired.
Okay.
Yeah. When he was hired. When he got let go, it was 2010, 11. Yeah. So yeah, Jack, how old were you then?
I was born in 2002, so I would have been 9.
9? Okay, so we haven't had a competent head coach since Jack was 9. So I'm just saying to show how, like, you put it in grand scale, you're like, oh my gosh, right? So I'm actually excited for the opportunity for them to go out there, whether it's Ben Johnson or it's someone like even Thomas Brown. Like, let's see how the rest of this season goes. But anyways, a long-winded answer to your question, but I'm excited to see like what this team's going to do next when it comes from like the front office standpoint. But Jack, how about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like I'm on a broken record here, but I'm excited to see TB. I'm excited to see him like coach. I'm excited to see how the team like sort of presents itself. Like it'll be interesting to see if there's like a vast difference between what we've seen up until this point. If like just it looks like everyone's demeanor's changed, or it looks like we're playing a little harder. So it'll be interesting to see. But I mean, overall, I guess I'm excited. I am still delusional and think we could win out easily. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I guess.
That's a good point. Yeah, I had a tweet yesterday because I was like, I know we're trailing, I think, the Commanders, right, in regards to that final playoffs hunt. But the Packers, I think, are ahead of them. And with that loss to Detroit, I think it makes it interesting, at least, to monitor them. And I think, well, both teams, of course, but you play the Packers one more time. That's another loss if you can beat them, which we haven't done in 4 or 6 years, however long it's been, since 2018, I believe. So I think the playoffs are probably off the table, but man, you start stringing some games along, right? You start winning some games, go on a 3-4 game winning streak. Then it's numbers. Then you just got to hope for, some help. And then at the very most, you have maybe a slim chance of just sneaking in. But again, just want to see the Bears win. I know there's been a debate about, is it best the Bears just continue to lose out, win some games, draft pick. I'm just like, man, we haven't seen a team just finish the season strong. Last year was close, but I mean, even then they kind of fizzled out with Justin Fields at the end. So I would love to see TB at Thomas Brown, of course, being the head coach, see if they can just kind of win some games here. Obviously, this is an audition. We talked about it on the last podcast where the news broke about Flus being fired live. And I think with Thomas Brown, it's the best case scenario. It might not be the flashiest. However, I love listening to Thomas Brown speak. He is so well spoken.
Yeah.
He just seems like honestly like a young Tomlin. It's weird. I think the way that he is, it's really just like no bullshit, right? Well, Tomlin is very similar. He's always been that way. And with Thomas Brown, he has not changed at all, even since just becoming the OC. Now he's the head coach. It's the same message. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see now. Losses are going to fall on his shoulders along with the quarterback, but that's what the head coach is for. They're going to get the most blame. I'm very interested. I want to ask you guys both this because we haven't talked about the presser with Kevin Warren, and Ryan Poles. And before we hop into this preview of the 49ers, I just wanted to kind of ask you guys about what were your thoughts on it? Because for me personally, it was very awkward. You saw, everyone has seen it by now. Kevin Warren was very prominent, and I would say Ryan Poles was kind of behind the scenes on that presser. Did you get the same feeling, Vic?
Yeah, it was the same. Like,
are you okay with that?
I am, because let's be real, right? Warren, none of this really falls on Warren from a public standpoint, right? So if I'm thinking from a human aspect of this, right? Ryan Poles came out, whether it's his decision or not in the very beginning to bring Eberflus in, or even if he had the opportunity to fire him and move on from last season, he came out and publicly said, like, I doubled down with my head coach, which your GM should do, right? Like you do want that support, right? But because of that, that falls more on Ryan than it does Kevin at all. So Kevin can absolve himself from this kind of situation and come out there and be like, look, he's gone. Here's the future. I'm excited about it. Ryan Poles is still tied to a man that he called his, a brother multiple times, right? From the very beginning, first presser that he ever had where he introduced Matt Eberflus, like he called him a brother. And so obviously from a human aspect, he's going to, you're not going to walk out there like nothing happened. So I'm not necessarily looking at it like, oh, Poles isn't making any of the decisions. Poles isn't, he's not going to be involved in the search. No, it's none of that. I'm looking at it like, look, they built a relationship throughout this, right? Even Poles wanted to fire him earlier. The reports came out that McCaskey said that he had to wait. But still, if you have to, like, even if someone's underperforming, it doesn't mean you don't like the person or you don't like the relationship you built with them. So he's obviously going to have, I would say conflicting emotions about it because he knows it's what's right for the team. But from a human standpoint, you're letting go of someone that you've spent 2 years with, your first coach, right? And that you've built a strong bond with. So I definitely understand him feeling that type of way. It doesn't falter or it doesn't it doesn't change my view of how they're going to go out and get their guy. Like I as long as they don't hire some consulting firm, because every time the Bears do that, it doesn't work. Then like I feel confident they're going to go out there and get the right person. But I mean, it's like letting go of a friend. Like your friend. I mean, I'm sure we've all been in a situation. Your friend's like, dude, you're not made for this. You're still my friend, but it's like, you can't do this job. So maybe you haven't been in that situation, but I definitely have. So I understand where you're like, ugh. So.
Yeah, not a right fit. Yeah, I think Caleb Williams had he talked about just the human aspect of it all. I thought all the players pretty much, maybe outside Jalen Johnson, had some type of not loyalty, because I'm not going to call it that, to Flus, but they at least kind of appreciated what he did do, maybe some of the good things he did over the last 3 years. Because there is some, yeah, exactly. There's a human nature to this business. At the end of the day, it is a business, but I like seeing some of the players, just kind of, I guess, be able to have that big picture. But it was funny to see other players like Jaquan Brisker, who I swear to God, he may truly hate Flus a lot more than I think we even thought. But I'm excited about Thomas Brown in this era. I think I will be honest, I don't know how you two feel, and I'll start with this, maybe with you, Jack. On socials, I'm exhausted already about hearing the head coaching options. We know the options. The Bears are going to interview them, and they're going to pick somebody. It's similar to the Justin Caleb debate. I was just so over it. It's been a week.
Yes, I say, Dave. It's only been 1 week.
I cannot stand it. And maybe I'm just getting older, and I've stayed off, X, whatever you call it, more this week than I ever have so far this season. But I just kind of need to decompress. But I already popped back on here this afternoon, and I'm like, man, we are they're still talking about the head coaching search, and I know it's going to be a hot topic. I get it, but I'm just like, maybe I'm just getting too old. Are you guys tired of it already? Or are you kind of excited?
I'll let Jack go first.
Yeah. No, it's hard because we have nothing else to talk about. And I started talking to Ficky earlier off air, and I was telling him now that Eberflus is gone and Waldron's gone, we don't really have this red flag issue. We can talk about George McCaskey all we want, but we're beating up an 80-year-old man. So it's that's no fun. So then it's what else are we going to talk about? We can talk about the draft. We don't really have any clue if we're going to finish 18 or 3. We don't know. So we can't really talk about that. So then all we have really is this coaching thing. So I get it. But at the same time, it is tiring, man. And when is the last time that we've seen a board of candidates for a head coaching job for the Bears and we've selected one of these top ones? It's never happened.
To be fair, we've never. No. I'm just saying we've also never fired a coach midway. So this is all normally
that is true. Yeah, that is true.
Normally they don't have this much time to go through their process. Normally, some of those
that's
guys
a silver lining.
Right. And no, I agree with you though, Jack. I do. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're right. Normally it's it's some random, it's some random guy off this list. Right. Even Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith was the last person where it was this was a prime candidate, and they went and got him. And that actually worked out. So every time they've not gone for someone who's projected to be that top guy or one of the top candidates, it hasn't worked out. So, but sorry, go ahead, Jack. You had to continue.
No, that was it. I just was saying that it'll be, but you made a fair point though, in terms of the severity, I guess is how I would word that. Is it feels like we're in DEFCON 1 area here where it's we got to get this right. So that does make, I totally agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
I want to bring up the super chat from Tito. Shout out to Tito. Always appreciate him. He goes, knowing the Bears, they will fuck this up. Hopefully Caleb can be a superstar. He's starting to and just lead the team like Brady or Manning. And I kind of want to bring, well, first of all, thank you, Tito. We appreciate the $5.
Always.
Also, good moment here. If you're here, YouTube on a Friday night, hit that like button for us. We appreciate it. Helps the algorithm. But back to Tito's kind of message there. I think we're already noticing Caleb being able to overcome some of these things, right? Obviously, Thomas Brown helped a lot. Shane was doing his very best to ruin Caleb, or at least set him back, at least a year. But I like what we've seen from Caleb, especially over the last three games, 2.5 games. But I think Caleb has already kind of shown that he can overcome it, because this team is, one Hail Mary and a couple
block kick.
What else am I thinking here?
The sack he took in overtime.
Sack in overtime. That's his, yes. But the defensive calling there too. So, I mean, there are a couple close, obviously situational, the situational awareness from Flus and his decision making in close games is what cost the Bears 3 or 4 games this year. And then he's 3-17 or 3-19,
something like that.
When he was with the Bears, it's just abysmal. So although he couldn't overcome the head coach malpractice, right, and even the offensive coordinator at the end of his tenure, I think we've already seen that he is at least special more than what we've seen in other quarterbacks, where I think he hasn't been broken. Because if most Chicago Bears quarterbacks right now probably would be set back at least a whole year, if not. We saw Justin Fields kind of happen to him, even with Mitch as well.
Mitch's first year wasn't even bad from a standpoint.
And then he even had Nagy in 2018, and he kind of just regressed on his own. But all I'm saying is I think we're seeing glimpses here, to Tito's message, where I think Caleb is actually has the ability, and he is talented enough to kind of overcome the dysfunction. I think the Bears just have to get this right, because he shouldn't have to do that. At least he shouldn't have to do that. Maybe his rookie year we'll get it. What was 6?
No, here's 6. It's an important number. There's only been 6 quarterbacks in NFL history that have had coaching changes in their first year. 6.
Who are they?
Do we know more than that? I don't know. We could look some. You guys want to look it up on the side? But
was Trevor Lawrence one? Was he fired first year?
No, but that was after. No, I'm saying like change within the year. Because remember, this is fired mid-season. You get 2 coaches in one season. No, after they've had plenty of that, right? Where it's like Bears do that all the time. Bears have
who was the Jaguars coach though?
It was Urban Meyer, but
he lasted the whole year.
Lasted the whole year, which is crazy.
Oh my God, I thought he was fired midway.
No, I think he lasted.
Or resigned. Year. Damn. Okay,
I'm pretty sure someone can fact check me on that. I might be wrong, and maybe that's one of the 6. But most cases, again, from a macro level, there's not many. So the fact that he's still been able to thrive, and which he has, is great to see. Also,
Colin Cowherd was talking positively about him. That's when you might have the guy.
Yeah,
my opinion. Maybe not though. He loves Zach Wilson. And he still loves Bo Nix, but
true. And then to finish the 6 off as well, there's one more important stat which kind of proves to your point here, is that Caleb has gone. This is tied for a NFL rookie record, 6 games without an interception. I think he has an opportunity this week, if he can do it, to add another record to his repertoire. So, saying all of that, I agree with you, Dave. He's been able.
He makes this one hard to break, because I'll be honest, he's got a couple breaks. Obviously, he's a couple drops, which that's what happens. You need a little bit of luck, some bounce the right way. But now he is, since he already broke it. I think if he can go a couple more games, this one could be standing for many, many years. Because rookie quarter, it's very rare to see.
So hard.
Quarterbacks go, especially rookies, this long, this many attempts, and he's thrown a lot. Yeah, it's not like he's doing Justin Fields numbers where it's like 15 a game, 20. No, he's in the top 30 sometimes, maybe 40. So it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. But yeah, he's withheld the chaos that is the Chicago Bears franchise, which I think is the biggest testament of being able, like, if you can handle this, I promise you, it probably won't get worse. Not with you at the helm, right? So, quote me in 5 years, I could be completely wrong. We're in the same boat, whole new quarterback, but it seems like things are gonna go up. So
sometimes I look back at old podcasts and there'll be like clips about Justin, and that was like in the early days where he was like flashing, and we were like, we got our guy. That's all that matters.
We're so desperate, man.
He did have those moments, man, where it was like,
he broke NFL record.
There was no other quarterback doing this, and that was the rushing ability. That just was, he was a home run highlight reel.
He was Lamar without the arm, and now we have a quarterback who has the arm. So that's the difference here, right? You had a guy who had you've got someone who can. You've got a quarterback now that's breaking Bears and rookie records from passing efficiently.
Like any other running quarterbacks now is just going to be Lamar without an arm. That's funny.
That's basically because that's how it was with Lamar. We were hoping Fields, not to get too off track here, we were hoping Fields was going to develop the passing game. If he did, top 5 quarterback, no question. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened with that's what happened to we were hoping he was going to be on the same progression as, oh my gosh. Oh my.
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, Jesus, right? Because Josh Allen's the early days, a lot of running, inaccurate throws, but then he developed his arm and boom, now look at him. Been a top 5 guy, top 3 guy for the past couple of years. So say all of that. I think the Bears, I mean, still a lot of football left, but I think the Bears actually have a chance to walk away from this season, which is the most important part, to be like, you, sir, run this team. Like, you know what I mean? And we haven't had that.
Well, that's a good segue. Do you think the Bears can be able to walk away this week with a win? Snap that 6-game losing streak. God, I wish it was winning.
Universe.
I want to kind of I think this will be a good segue to our preview here because it's a very interesting matchup. I think it has a lot of storylines. Obviously, Thomas Brown is one, Caleb, but let's go ahead and start, if you don't mind, with the injury reports, Vic, and then we'll go ahead and get to our predictions and everything like that. So good God, guys. Bears. This is, I mean, just last week, it is so ironic. Before the Thanksgiving game, I said that it was like, what, 2 players on it?
Yeah, it was Elijah Hicks and Bates.
Minimal. It was such a healthy report. However, the Bears injury report this week is brutal. Ryan Bates, he is out. Elijah Hicks is out. Roshan Johnson is out. He's in concussion protocol. DJ Moore, big one here, quad, questionable. He did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, but was limited on Friday. Very interesting. Same thing with DeAndre Swift, the exact same thing. Quad injury, he is questionable. And then Keenan Allen, full practice. That's really good, especially with the chemistry that he's developed with Caleb Williams. He also he said that he would love to run it back with Chicago.
I was talking to
very,
Jack
very interesting. Maybe we can get there.
I was going to actually speak. Yeah, we'll speak of it after this, after the injury report.
Okay.
I was going to ask you guys about that.
Well, and then Kevin Byard full, Mercedes Lewis full. Good Lord. Why is he on here? Every time it honestly pisses me off. We get it. He is old. 40. He does not need to practice, but he'll be there for his one snap, and hopefully he doesn't fuck it up. But Coleman Shelton, full practice. That's important. And then, of course, Darnell Wright, which I'm shocked. I mean, he was on the cart, boys. I thought this was season ending.
Yeah. I agree.
Really, really big turn of events for the Bears here. He is not listed. So there we go. It is long. It is DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. Because, I mean, what? Roshan is out too already. So you don't get Swift. You're looking at Travis Homer and who else? Do they elevate anybody? Not yet.
Evans.
Let's see if we can get Fields back.
Dude.
This is where the Herbert trade is like, oh, this is why I didn't want to throw him. I didn't want to, I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know. I feel like
Allen.
I feel like probable is not probable. What's it called now? Questionable. I just feel like they're gonna play, right?
Question is probable. Yeah. We'll see. Quads
I could
funky,
be wrong.
Dude.
They are. Yeah. They get quads is the one that you can re-injure
soft tissue
very easily.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, but I'm gonna bring up the quote here. This one was from, let's see here.
Was it Marquis?
It was, Keenan Allen. He just said basically he wants to run it back with the Bears next year. He was talking with DJ Moore in the locker room, and DJ was like, hey, what are you going to do? DJ wanted him to run it back. He told the media that. And then, of course, they asked him, do you want to? And he reassured him, yes, I do. I would love to run it back. What are your quick thoughts before we kind of move on to 49ers injury report?
As long as the deal's not absurd, right? Because he's old. He's older. But absolutely. Wouldn't you want – I mean, look at him this year. He's been the number one target. Or he's had a high volume of targets. He's had multiple touchdown games. And when he's not injured, because he had some injury concerns, and we know that with Keenan Allen, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
But his route running is still there. We saw that last game on display. And he can still catch the ball on clutch downs, right? He had some drops earlier. But overall, you can never have too many weapons. So instead of having to get something that's unknown in the draft and having to use a draft pick on that,
or free agency.
Secure that in. 2 years, whatever. We got the money. Your QB's on a rookie deal. Have him build that confidence, and then we can worry about replacing him when that time comes.
Exactly, because you're gonna need another. You're gonna need if Keenan leaves, you cannot go in with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Sure, you can fill that with some Vantis Scantling, Juju Smith-Schuster, those type of guys. But it's like, why not just give Rome, give Keenan and DJ just one more time to run it back, especially with Keenan.
A new offensive coordinator, what they can actually do. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
But it is kind of funny. Real quick.
Yeah.
Literally, this season has been so strange because week 4, week 5, we were like, oh God, he's not. We're not. This is not the Keenan we thought we were getting. Right. I just think this season is just so bizarre because it's been up and down, similar to DeAndre Swift. Right.
First couple
of 5 games, we're like, oh my God, this is the worst signing in free agency of last year. It's the worst one ever.
Shane Waldron effect. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
That's good. That's good.
I'm
That's
telling you, bro.
But it's just so
everyone.
wild.
Everyone has improved. Obviously, there were some injuries like with Keenan that played a part earlier on, but good coaches, you get the right schemes in here, get your players to do what they're good at. We talked about it, like Keenan Allen plays slot, right? And plays a lot of slot, and they had him on the outside running deep concepts. It's like, okay, you're taking a skill set that may have been Keenan Allen 4 years ago. Why is he doing that? Or I remember with Shane Waldron with the route tree with Keenan. I can't remember who posted it, but they were showing like Rome's success rate for route running, like the particular routes in college versus the routes that they're forcing him to run in the NFL, and they didn't align. You're like, wait a minute, if he's great at these routes, why are you making him run different ones here, right? Especially for a rookie wide receiver. Like, you want to go to their strengths early, then in the offseason, they can start to develop in areas where they're weaker. So again, coaching matters. We know this. That's why this team is 4 and whatever it is. Coaching matters, and I think that Shane Waldron effect affected Caleb tremendously in negative ways, affected every wide receiver and the running game as well, because the reports came out, the running game basically that had been set up for 2 years by Chris Morgan, whether you like Chris Morgan or not, but like something's been kind of set as a foundation. Waldron came in and basically said, we got to start this from ground zero. And we the last 2 seasons, this offense had a top 5. Fields contributed to that, a top 5 run game. So why would you start from ground zero, right? You should build. If you're a good coordinator, you build off what you already have set there. So again, to say all of that is like, yes, especially earlier in the season, the offense was horrible on all aspects. Like in every measure, they were bad, from the players to the scheme. And once you got rid of something, we saw how significantly it improved. So it's interesting to see if the subtraction of Eberflus, like Jack was talking about, like how big of a lift will that be just by removing him? So, but yeah, I would take him back. Jack, I don't know if we got your opinion.
We have the wide receiver guru. I want to stop it here. I want to introduce him. We got the body language guru, but the wide receiver guru as well. Most people, Bears Twitter, don't understand this. Jack,
respect.
Are you bringing Keenan back?
I would be shocked if he did not come back. One, no way Pulse signed him in the first, or traded for him in the first place not to re-sign him. It wouldn't make sense to eat up the contract. Number 2, if Keenan's saying he wants to stay here, I'm assuming that, like, based on point 1 of Poles intending on that happening and then Keenan agreeing and aligning with that, I'd be shocked. Number 3, Dave, you nailed it right on the head. Like, he's playing a lot better. This is sort of more of the Keenan that we were looking for. Keep this up for 5 more weeks or whatever it is. And then I would just be shocked. Like you said, we don't need a MVS or a Juju or, a Tyler Boyd. We don't need that. We have like 3 awesome stars at wide receiver. Why not try it again? Especially like, it can't get worse,
Yeah, I'm thinking like, I don't know if this might be on. I don't have the numbers on me, but like 2 years, 28 million, 2 years, 29 million.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something's like give him like anywhere from
pay
10
him
to 15.
Decent money. You're getting 14, 15 million a year,
and you can get out after the next year. You know what I mean?
Yep. And you can backload it. I probably prefer not, but you could if you needed to, right? If you wanted to kind of get a couple more maybe in the trenches for free agency or just whatever you need to do. The Bears just have the flexibility, man. They do. That's why Poles, I think, is going to get another chance here. He is. They confirmed that, I think, in the presser as well. They asked if Poles was, coming back or if his job was safe. I don't remember the correct language here, but they essentially said yes. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, but I would love it, man. I would love it. So anyways, crazy injury report. I think hopefully it's worse than it looks. We'll see here on Sunday morning. But now let's look at the 49ers, who, God, we are playing them at a very interesting time. And we got an Excel spreadsheet. Thank you, San Francisco. Not even Excel, dude. This looks like Microsoft Word here. Notes app. Anyways, we got left tackle Trent Williams. This is a big one. Out. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw. That's a big one too. Achilles out. Yep. Jordan Mason out. This is interesting because CMC, isn't he on IR?
Yeah.
So that's Jordan Mason.
Yep.
And Mason is
running back 3.
Love that, but we might be as well. But
true.
Hopefully not.
That is true.
Safety George Odom, knee is out. Nick Bosa, doubtful. even if he plays, he'll probably be 75, 60%, in my opinion. Aaron Banks, concussion, he's questionable. Demetrius Flanagan, Foles, wow, questionable. Safety, Talawana Hufanga, wrist, questionable.
That was good. That was good.
I did well. Thank you. Interesting. It's a crazy, crazy injury report for them as well. I think the Bears, dare I say, really should win this game. Is that crazy?
Can I bring us some stats though that are kind of
bring it up.
Crazy to go to?
I would love to see this.
We're not gonna see. You're gonna hear, unfortunately, but
okay.
to kind of just tell a story of like how bad the 49ers season has been. But listen to it because we have similar records. They have one more win than us. I'm gonna give you a comparisons of the 49ers versus the Bears. Okay. Record in close games. The 49ers are 2-4. Not great. The Bears in those close games are 2-6. Okay. Points per game. The 49ers have 22. The Bears are 20. They're right by them. Point differential. The Bears are +1 in a point differential on the season with 4 wins. They have a positive, let me say that again, a positive point differential with only 4 wins, which is crazy. While on the other hand, a 5-win team has -25 for point differential. Margin of victory. 49ers, 10.2. The Bears, 14.5, 7th. So when they win big. And then this is the biggest one, in my opinion. Turnover differential. 49ers, -3. They're 20th in the NFL, right? That makes sense. When you're in the negatives for turnover differential, more than likely you're going to be under 500 because you're giving the ball away more than you're taking it away. The Bears are what as point differential, Dave? What do you think they are? They're positive.
Yeah, they are positive by like 1, I thought. Wait, no. They were the week before Thanksgiving, right?
That was point differential, turnover.
It's turnover? Shocking. Oh, it's crazy high. Yeah, I remember seeing this stat somewhere, or I know it is. We just don't score points off them, especially in the Shane Waldron area. So, I mean, plus 12, plus 13?
Close. Plus 10. That is 4th.
And then there was like records
NFL.
Of teams, but wasn't there like records like we're 4th NFL, but the top teams in like turnover differential are all playoff teams?
Yes.
And it shows you how bad Flus is that right? It's kind of where you're going?
Well, it's weird. It's weird because it's how bad Flus is as a head coach. But those turnovers are tied to his defense. So
it's true.
It's funny because
so then Shane kind of screwed him.
Right. Because last year, well, I mean, this still falls on the coach because you had games you could win and your bad mismanagement of stuff, right? But it is funny because that's like 3 years in a row. This Bears team has been at least top 10 past 3 years in in turnover differential. Last year, they led the league in interceptions with like 21. And it's funny because the Bears, I think in the 3 seasons that Flus has been head coach, do we have double-digit wins yet as a total?
With Flus?
As a total in 3 years. He won 3 games his first season. How many win last year? 7? Okay, so there's 10. And then he has 4 this year, 14. So with a team that's been top 5 in point and turnover differential in 3 seasons, right? Has only 15 wins to show for it is absurd. So I just give all of that to show it, what bad teams look like. The stats versus the 49ers, that's what bad teams look like. Those stats make sense. You look at the Bears, if you were just to look at those metrics, you'd be like, how are they not at least 500? At least, not 4-8. So just crazy of a season that we have to go through. Only in Bears fashion would they have something like that.
That's a stat I only want to hear one time. I don't want to hear that again. It is brutal. That's brutal.
Crazy.
I do think it's funny, though. There's a comment here a little ways back because I wouldn't put it under Jack to actually be Sears Tower. I don't think you have the intel like that, but it's something. It's
People
something. I'm
Use
like,
the plug.
I wish I was. I wish I had sources like him.
That's what. Wouldn't Sears say that?
Yeah, that's exactly what he would say. I think he tweeted that.
Wait
for a Sears Tower tweet to be like, "I'm not Jack." Just
I've never seen both
at like 2 a.m.
in the same room.
Randomly.
To be honest,
That's
also
true.
never seen Sears Tower, but
That's true.
and if you're not on, that's a Twitter thing. I guess if you're on Twitter, which some people are, some people aren't. Who knows?
You definitely should be on there for the Sears Tower because he's been nailing his stuff like back to back to back. So I do miss RIP to Ricky. I do miss Ricky. He was fun too. So yeah, go ahead, Jack.
Did you all see I thought it was funny, the George McCaskey that was like really
dude, he had
set the bit. At first it was to be funny, and then people started thinking it was George. So this guy just full on went for it. He was like, I'm gonna pretend to be
George. He
would
sign off
George.
Yeah, it was
and then he got flagged off by the Bears for impersonation. So now he's
the sign off was perfect.
Yeah, because that's how an old person would sign off.
That's exactly. I'm like, oh, he's nailing this. Like he's got obviously the like the meat or like the content was good, but it's like that signature of just George.
Perfect,
oh my god, it doesn't matter what he said. I was like, this is brilliant. It was so funny.
It was like reading a text from your old uncle or something.
There was like an article. Yeah, there's like an article came out about him.
The Pro Football Talk, yeah, with Mike Florio freaking calling out this.
So there's a George McCaskey Twitter, but it's not him.
That's hilarious.
I mean, he has one more thing real quick. Sorry to interrupt. It's so off topic, but I did something diabolical.
Oh.
I ran the numbers and I got the Bears. I figured out our path to the playoffs. It's easy.
Oh my goodness.
It's easy.
Let's see it. Let's hear it. I needed this.
All right. I'm going to read it out.
You should tweet it as well.
Oh, it's already tweeted. I like, you guys said it. You said something about like, what, like, do you guys think we can win out or something like that? And I was like, oh, shit.
You already tweeted.
That's why I was
running the show and tweeting.
I retweeted it.
Yeah, that's great.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was like, Dave, can you read it off real quick? You got a better voice than me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I just retweeted it. I haven't read it. That's how
I haven't heard
I'm trusting you.
We can get there.
So it goes, how the Bears make the playoffs. So 1, Bears went out, obviously. I think that's important. Week 14, Minnesota beats Atlanta. Week 15, New Orleans beats Washington, New England beats Arizona, Seattle beats Green Bay, Las Vegas beats Atlanta. That's a lot. But there's probably some other variables too, I think. I like this one though. Or is this the only way?
No, there's a ton of ways. But
this is the one you're going with.
There's some key games that have to happen. So like Patriots beating the Cardinals has to happen essentially. That's a wild card thing.
Week 16, New York beats Atlanta, Philly beats Washington, Carolina beats Arizona, Minnesota beats Seattle, New Orleans beats Green Bay. Week 17, Minnesota beats Green Bay, San Francisco beats Detroit. So a lot of stuff that has to go right. But there's other things I think that can, like, there's going to be, this isn't the only variable, but this is probably one of the more realistic.
That's one of the only ways. That's the least amount of games that gets us to that 99% chance to make playoffs.
So all the rest of them, all the other ones have more.
So this one gets you to 99% chance. And then there's probably others where it's like 80, 60 and so forth, right?
Spot on. Yeah. If I pull out the Patriots beating the Cardinals, then it gets us right to 87%. So it
exactly
variables. Yeah.
I'm in. We beat San Francisco. I'm into this. Just win out. Make it a thing. All I asked for this year was to be in the conversation at the end of the season.
No, I'm there for that. But there's
would it not be good? Go on a run here. When your first win these next 4 games, you get to week 17 against Green Bay, where it's like, the best case scenario would be you beat Green Bay and you don't know if you're in, but you need another team that, say it's like Washington, you need them to lose, but you both play at the 3. You know how the NFL will make them where they play at the same time. Could you imagine playing Green Bay where it's like, yeah, you still may need help from another team, but you beat Green Bay and Washington ended up winning, right? Well, we just missed the playoffs.
You know what's funny?
That feels really good, man.
We just did this last year. Bears had to lose their last game. Fields was out. They did. Yeah. And then we're all watching Houston versus the Colts. So, 2 years ago. Sorry.
That game would be 49ers Cardinals. That's what that game would be. If we played them at noon, it'd be 49ers Cardinals would be like that, like get in kind of spot.
Just make it interesting. Look, that's all I ask. God.
Interesting. Yeah.
Look, I agree. That'd be fun. We want to be in the hunt. Jesus Christ.
I know. We're gonna get smoked.
we need to develop a winning culture. Here's a final question for y'all before we go into we'll do our mid break and then we'll go to the preview.
Prediction stuff.
Yeah. But how many games? For a second, we're 4-8, 12 games, 5 games left. Okay. How many games out of the last 5 do the Bears need to win to where you think Thomas Brown becomes the number one candidate? Or does he never become the number one candidate? If he wins 5, like obviously, but like,
I'll say the biggest thing for me, I would say 3 wins because it's a tough schedule with the NFC North. It just is. But he's proved, or the Bears players have at least proved, even with Flus, that you can make these games. I mean, they lost the last 3 divisional games by 7 points total, or 7 total points. So in my opinion, I would say 3 would be nice. But for me, it's more about his process and how they're losing these games. Because if they're just losing because, okay, Caleb marched down, they scored 30, 40 seconds left, and they just couldn't get a stop, you feel good. But if we get the same type of like Flus type endings, I almost think that's a nail in the coffin. It's like, all right, you got to go, buddy. Like if he has like a
1 season.
Yeah, where it's like we'll just go last week where it's like the time management is a big issue in even one game. I think that right there would maybe scare off Chicago. But the thing is, can Ben Johnson do that?
No idea.
Right? I don't know. But I would say 3 games. Let's just answer your question. Jack, I think it's 3 as well. We can move on.
Yeah, it is 3.
No, there was
it's 3, but the offense has to look good. Right? Like we can't win 7-3 or like 10-7. It can't happen. The offense has to look good, but 3 minimum regardless.
Anything else interesting to see how this defense plays though?
I mean, they got the players, but you got to assume they're going to regress a little bit. I mean, it's only 5 games, but they got to.
But I don't think they're going to regress. I was thinking this could be like he's gone. Like I think some of
they were already doing
they
were already doing well. I agree though. There's definitely people who weren't like maybe pro Flus, but like at least schematically, like the defense was run game, not so much this year, but there's a lot of injuries. But yeah, it could go either way, Dave. I could definitely see that. I think Scott had a comment, Jack, I thought was good. Yeah, I think this kind of a mix of both years here. 3 wins and 1 of them against the Packers. We have not beat the Packers in 6 years. So if you get a win in the end of the season, so if you go out of 5, let's say you beat Seattle, you beat maybe the 49ers, you lose to Vikings, Lions, but then you end it beating the Packers.
Yeah, you win 3 games and but one of those is the end of the season. I think that's a huge. I mean, we don't understand how this ownership takes those games. Just to snap that record heading into the offseason would feel fantastic. But
also, they're going to be fighting. They're going to be fighting for a playoff position too, so that could easily have some real ramifications. So we're going to be someone's going to be playing for something on that game.
It's
so that's
possible. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the numbers are possible where Green Bay and Chicago could be playing
for that final one.
A lot would have to go before that final spot. Washington would have to leapfrog Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then Green Bay's gonna have to go on a skid here, but they've already lost this week to Detroit. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts.
Could you imagine?
And I would even love to play the spoiler where it's like, okay, we have a chance. We can't get in.
That's what Detroit did 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Right before they went on the literally right before
we had that opportunity last year, didn't we?
Yes, but we didn't do it.
Oh, we got fucking cooked.
Yeah, that's what normally happens.
Loves cooked us, but we couldn't touch it. Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. Well, it's not brutal. Supporting the BFR podcast. So if this is your first time here, first off, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking time on a Friday to come chill with the boys in the squad. Oh shit, I forgot. What was that? You guys, what was that hashtag that one of our supporters put about that was calling us? Do you remember?
Big effing rod.
No, not about the BFR. Remember, it was like the 3 boys. I can't remember what it was, but if you remember it, just let me know.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna have to go back and find it. I'll bring it back. But if this is your first time, first off, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time on a Friday to be with us. Go ahead and leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. Jack will make sure to give you a shout out by the end of the show. We'll put you on the screen as well. Yeah. And then also, if this is not your first time, which means you watched at least. No, that was for you. That was Sad Boys for Dave. Oh. I think that was for you when you were in your little sad phase, which totally respectable. I get it. But if this is not your first time, you've been watching this for a minute, please give a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Also, it's very free to just like and subscribe if you haven't already done that. I know there's a lot in the chat right now, so please just give a like. And this is just FTA for the algorithm. It just helps this show get out to more great, fantastic supporters like you and diehard Bear fans so that we all can share in this misery together, right? Because there's nothing like a great venting sesh like the BFR pod. So, again, Go ahead, like and subscribe. Give a hashtag New Face Gang or hashtag OG in the chat. And you can also drop in your score predictions with that as well. And we'll make sure to pop those up on the screen when we do ours at the end of this show. Also, if you want to support us, look, it's getting cold out there. It's cold in Atlanta right now. I know it's cold in Chicago. You're going to need something to cuddle up with. And that's going to be some beautiful, comfy sweatshirts from the BFRstore.com. We have hats. We have even beanies. We've got hoodies, like I've mentioned, all different colors and arrays. We're working on different merch moving on to next season as well. So just go ahead and you can go there. Go ahead and buy yourself something. It is the holiday season. So if you want to get your mom, your dad, your dog, your ex-girlfriend, your neighbor, I don't care. You want to get them a gift, go ahead and do that. And all the proceeds from the store just go back into making this show improve and be better for y'all. So it's just value. Basically, you're dumping money, you're dumping money, getting product, and then in return, getting the value right back from us delivering fire-ass content for you. So we really do appreciate them. For those who have already bought stuff, thumbs up. Appreciate y'all. You guys have made this a fantastic year. Now, if you want to join our ongoing community, you can join the Patreon. That's the BFR Den on Patreon, where we have monthly exclusives like giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and more. We're going to be we were a little delayed for the monthly giveaway, but we're doing that for the month of November, and then we'll also have one for December. So for our Patreon members in there right now, stay tuned. That we'll have that coming out either this week or next week. And then speaking of our Patreon members, we love these Bears here. Let's give a shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzlies. We have Michael, who's across the pond in UK, and we got Gage, who have been fantastic Patreon members. We really do appreciate y'all. And if you want to be like them and look like those two badass Bears right there, you can join the Hall of Fame Grizzly tier for like $10, which is really not that much a month. And the best part about that is you get a private Zoom call with the squad, and like you get to talk to me, Dave, and Jack about whatever you want. So also want to give a shout out to our rookie Grizzlies here. We got Alex, Brian, Chris, Jason, and Eston. We really do appreciate your support. If you want to join and get a part of the monthly giveaways and things like that, it's only $3. So basically you can go in there, win some fire merch your first month, and it basically paid for itself. So if you want to do that, please go to the BFR Den on Patreon. You can join for free as well if you kind of want to see. We drop our monthly schedules to show like what's going on in there. And we're working on creative ways to add more value for all of you as well. So again, if you want to support us on the store or the Patreon, all the proceeds just go back into making this show better and better. I know Dave, Jack, and I are working on a bunch of cool stuff for 2025. And then also I just want to give a shout out because I know we hit December. You guys killed it in 2024. Numbers, not that numbers are everything, but it's so great to see the growth that you guys have helped contributed to. It's like fantastic. We wouldn't do this without y'all. Me, Dave, and Jack like each other, but we can only listen to each other complain about this team so much, right? That's what our Twitter's for. We just read each other's tweets and just sit there in misery. But we really do this for y'all. We really do appreciate all the love and support that you guys have had so far. Okay, that's it. Back to you, Dave.
Yeah, no, I just want to echo again. Yeah, the sport's been amazing. You guys know that. So a lot of Bears content out there. So a lot to consume. So the fact you guys do it, we appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get to our bold predictions.
Let's do overview.
We'll get
first.
Overview, bold predictions, along with our headlines and of course final score.
Boom. First thing I'm gonna call out. This is the first time in weeks, I tell you, the Bears have more footballs than the opposing team. So you're telling me there's a chance? Absolutely, I am. Look at this offense. The offense has been the same on our end, right? Nothing's changed there. Defense also been the same.
And
basically.
Those rushing numbers, they got to come down a little bit. You got to take a football away. I mean, CMC's gone. Jordan Mason, I would give him 2. Maybe.
Yeah, it's going off the.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, really. No,
you feel real good going this one
for sure. Right, their passing game still good. Purdy's back. He's going to be playing in decent conditions because they're back home. So he's not going to have a bad game because he's playing in snow like last week. So you expect that offense to still be dynamic there. Also, they have future Bears head coach Kyle Shanahan still calling the plays over there. So, like, obviously that offense is still going to be dynamic. But what's not dynamic is their defense. Their defense has been injury prone all season, along with their offense too, as we just talked about. But they have not been good. I didn't think there was a worse rush defense in the NFL, but here we are. It's the first time. So, again, you think of this 49ers team, been to 2 Super Bowls, like always dominant. They look good. And maybe this is just a bad year, but like we're playing them at an optimal time. This team is not in its best place from a health perspective, and just from a yearly standpoint, they have not been playing their best of ball. So there's an opportunity here, and we'll get to that with our score predictions, but we'll see what happens. Can they take down their future head coach? This is 2 games, by the way, back to back of you're playing. Dave, you're on mute. We got him, boys. That's
I didn't want to say what I just said. I knew I was on mute because you said future head coach. Anyways, keep going.
Back to back games where we're playing potentially 2 possible candidates for the head coaching job, right? One of them might be more of a pipe dream, but at least Ben Johnson, right? Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan. So
yeah,
just interesting. We'll see how they show up. Thomas Brown's probably not going to want them to play bad against them since, he knows the effect obviously he doesn't want to lose anyways, but when you're staring across your possible replacement across the field. So,
yeah. No, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this game, and I say it every freaking week. But I am. Win this game. I think it's going to be a fun final 4 games after that. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get to our score predictions. Is that
bold
right?
Takes.
Or bold predictions?
You want to skip this one because it's not great. Let's bring these up. Oh, buddy. Dave not looking great over there. It's 2-10. Okay. But to be fair,
like
Jack and I
team.
Yeah, that is true. Your fantasy team is
I haven't looked at that. I haven't changed my lineup. I've just moved on.
Yeah, that's the best way to handle that when it happens like that. We've all had seasons like that. But Jack and I 4-8 and 4-7. I'm literally the same record as the Bears, so I don't know how I feel.
Y'all are still shit. Just smell a little bit better.
Yeah,
that's it. Those records are
a shit with a bow on top. That's what it is. It is not. It is not great.
Let's be honest here, man. Ain't nothing to knock me down for.
And to be fair, some of our takes have not been as bold as you would expect, and the Bears still found a way to shit the bed those games. So it's all fun and games, but yeah, the team has not been helping us out. They have not been helping us out. Do you want to go to my bold take real quick, Jack? Let's see here. So let's start off with me. I said Caleb throws for 315 yards. He hasn't had a 300-yard game in I think like 3 games at this point. We know he has the capability, but this defense, it's not horrible. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. I would say it's like middle of the pack. So there is an opportunity for this offense to click. And I just feel like there's going to be some sort of juice on that offensive end. Dave, to steal your term, because Thomas Brown is now the head coach. And obviously he runs the offense. Well, he has Chris Beanty now doing the wide receiver coach being the offensive coordinator. And then the assistant wide receiver coach being Keenan Allen. This maybe is what he stays. But
Kevin can throw the ball.
I think there's a possibility.
Let's see it.
We'll see.
Throw it up. Oh, yeah. Jack Sanborn. Interception game. I'm feeling it. I love this one. I hope it comes true. I'll leave it at that. Jack.
That's a crazy bold take.
That's it. That's the boldest take yet. I think.
Do you not see the clip I had on him? Like, I think it was last week where he dove.
No, he's a dog. He had a pick.
That tip. Maybe it was the Packers game. But yeah, I mean, maximum effort. Jack Sanborn. He's sneaky, dude. He's due. I've never been more certain.
He had a pick. I mean, he had an interception last year. I think he had 2 last year. Like he doesn't get enough snaps because we're in nickel and dime and whatnot, but he could do it easily.
Chad doesn't like it. They don't like it.
Whatever. All right.
They're going to love this one. Bears never lose the lead. Take it early.
I like this one. When you sent it in the group chat, Jack, as I interrupt you on your bold take. Anyways, go ahead.
No, feel free. No, I was just saying, come out strong. Thomas Brown effect. 10-0 into the first quarter, I saw. So it'll be 10-0 into the first, and we just go on from there. Never lose the lead. CMC gone. Isaac Arendo's nothing.
I think that's a unique one.
3-0 Bears win game, right?
I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know what I would do if we scored 3 points.
If we scored 3 points, that's hard for us to do too.
I would be doing a podcast right after we scored 3 points. That's what I'd be doing.
True.
Unfortunately,
that's true.
I can tell you what
I would not be on here. I would not have shown up.
You're probably one of our best shows. You probably wouldn't hop on that one. So
I would be so mad. Let's go to our final score predictions. I think these are very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
All 3 of us. What the hell is wrong with us? But Ficky,
we're sick. We'll start off with the biggest sicko here. For some reason, I feel the subtraction of Matt Eberflus is addition by subtraction. This team is going to be rejuvenated, energized, and I think they're going to be mentally locked in. Luckily, we're playing a 49ers team that is beat the hell up and hasn't been having the greatest of a season. So if there is an opportunity for us to upset a team, because it hasn't happened all year, because we can't handle the last 2 minutes of a game, this is going to happen. And I think,
I like it,
which is going to be a big key here, is I look at the last 2 minutes of the half and the last 2 minutes of the game. I think those 4 minutes are going to be so impactful on whether or not we lose this game.
The last 2 minutes of a half, it just reminds me of when the Bears, what was it? Was it the Cardinals game where they gave up a 58-yard touchdown on the last 10 seconds of the half?
Longest run in NFL history in the last 30
That one, there's a lot of plays that have just pissed me off this year. That one,
dude. Hail Mary, field goal block, mismanaging time, and then sack in the overtime. 5, bro. You hear this? Look at this.
Yeah.
NFL teams have won a game.
And you know what's
won a
funny?
game. I mean, won a
the
season.
Speed option on 4th and goal against Indy didn't even make it there. That's nuts. You remember that,
crazy.
Right?
I try not to, but yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying that one's brutal, but throw out my prediction. This one I like. Actually,
I hope so. I hope so. That's tough.
Come on. Would you not feel you would feel so good. Thomas Brown.
I would love this.
Hot 34-17 Bears. Jack?
Are you serious? I would take that in a minute.
Well, let's go straight to mine. 27-23, similar to Ficky's. I like doing weird numbers because I feel like weird things happen. So yeah, sure. We'll score-gami this. Yeah, but I do think Bears win.
Yeah, it's definitely not one. I don't think.
It's Bears score-gami.
Maybe.
It's my score-gami in my head.
It is. It is.
It's true.
Counts.
Yeah.
Sears Towers spoken.
Yes.
Hashtag Sears score-gami. So.
No, I hope the Bears just win. That's it.
You know what,
man?
It's not that big of an ask after losing. Man, this number is just popular. 6 games in a row. Is this the 6th episode? I mean, my God, I can't believe it.
This is actually 117, I think.
Oh, okay.
Of the BFR podcast.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I was like, what is this guy talking about? But yeah. So yeah. But 6 games in a row is not great.
I've been through worse. We've been through worse. Early on in the Eberflus era but we knew we were heading. We wanted that number 1 pick, so it was kind of like we were rooting for the losses at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure.
All right. Headlines.
Oh,
for Monday.
I don't think I see Jack's on here, so my bad, Jack.
I don't want to hear his anyway.
I'm gonna read it. Anyway.
All right.
I got fool's gold. You see how I played that with the mining gold? Yes, there it is. But basically, this team is. I think a lot of us are kind of scared. You know, maybe scared is not the right word, but you see the 49ers on your schedule. It doesn't matter what their record is and whatnot. You see the 49ers, you say, look, this is a dominant team, right? It's like if the Packers were 2-8 and you had to play them, you'd still be like, this is the Packers. Like some way, somehow the Bears are going to lose this. But I think they find a way to beat this team. I think they do. And they prove that this 49ers team, due to a lot of variables that we talked about, they're just not as good as what we thought. And to be fair, that'd be 2 games in a row now. I was at the last one that the Bears beat the 49ers. So back to back. Home on our turf, which was the Justin Fields sliding in the water game. Fantastic
Epic
game. I was at that one. And then this one. So there's a chance.
I like that one. That was a good one. Fool's gold. That was good. Oh, may I say this is better?
Mm-hmm.
May I say this is in the hunt? I don't know. It's probably not a good one, actually, because, I mean, the Bears have we talked about it earlier. A lot of things have to fall the Bears' way. However, you win this one, that's the first domino.
There it
in
is.
the hunt. Playoffs, baby.
The butterfly effect begins.
We'll see. Yeah. Jack,
no graphic.
What happened, man?
He's a hater. He's a hater and knew my headline was awesome, and he hated
that paper up.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Jack's got to be pissed because he probably took 30 minutes trying to think of this.
It took a minute, but it's not even that good. So the headline here is Thomas Brown. See, now I have to Thomas Brown, here to stay. Thomas Brown Day. think that offense looks really good. I think the team looks a lot better, well contained, and Thomas Brown not locks in his job, but helps out the search.
Is there any way he could lock it in your opinion, in one game?
It would have to just be the most like well-oiled machine in history. It would
50
have
burger.
Right. It would have to be like 50 points. Like Niners just look horrible. The team's like just vibes. Like that's the only
5 touchdowns, Caleb, 500 yards, 50 burger, 555.
We could also do this headline from In Peril. We could do this too.
DJ Moore has bad body language trait.
Dude, he might not.
He's been good recently.
Yeah, he smiled once. That was nice.
He did. I'm sure he smiled once Flus was gone too. So
he looks so happy in Hard Knocks. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah,
camera's on
for sure. We all said lost a game yet this season. So
we will be back here in a couple days, right after the 49ers game. I think this is a 3:25 time slot. Yep, on Fox. So we'll be back that evening around 7 to recap the game, give our instant reactions. Of course, we'll have our voicemail line. We'll tweet it. We'll do a little bit of getting that out there. You guys are doing well, but hopefully it's positive voicemails. However, if they're negative, they make them even better. So we appreciate the support. Again, hit that like button. Rate and review the pod on Apple, Spotify, and we will be back here in a couple days, like I said. So bear down, and yeah, that's it.
Hey, let's get this dub. Peace.
See you.